Hello, everyone. Before this night ends, I need to tell you a story that was never meant to be heard. A story that sticks in your mind forever. So if you're brave enough, then turn off the lights, wear your headphones, and listen closely with rain sound and enjoy this 2 hours of bedtime story. Also, I love to hear from you. What time is it right now where you are, and which city are you listening from tonight? But don't say I didn't warn you, because after this, sleep won't come easy. What would you do if your own phone started receiving calls from your future self? Calls that told you how you would die. It was 11:47 p.m. when Emily Ross's phone rang. She was half asleep, the TV flickering in the background, when the vibration buzzed across her nightstand. The screen lit up, and she frowned. Her own name was on the caller ID. Not unknown number, not private caller. It simply read, Emily Ross, mobile. She stared at it, frozen. The ringing cut through the silence of her apartment, each vibration rattling the wood beneath the phone. At first, she thought it was some kind of glitch, a spoofed call maybe, but something in her gut told her to answer. Against every shred of logic, she swiped the green icon and lifted it to her ear. Hello? At first, nothing, just a faint hiss of static, like wind rushing through a tunnel. Then, Emily. Her breath caught. The voice was her own. Same tone, same cadence, but older, rougher, broken. Don't go outside tomorrow night, the voice said. Please, you'll regret it. Emily's hand trembled so violently she almost dropped the phone. Her chest tightened as her future self's voice whispered urgently, They're waiting for you. Don't answer the knock. Before she could respond, the call ended. The screen went black. She lay awake until morning, staring at the phone on her pillow. No missed call log, no incoming number. It was as though nothing had happened. By daylight, Emily convinced herself it had to be some dream, some bizarre trick her half-asleep brain had played on her. She went to work, answered emails, made small talk, and buried the memory. But the next night, the phone rang again. 11:47 p.m. Sharp. And again, her name lit up on the screen. Her hand hovered over it. Sweat dampened her palm. She shouldn't answer. She knew she shouldn't. But her curiosity was stronger than her fear. She pressed the phone to her ear. Hello? This time there was no silence. The voice spoke instantly. Emily, it's me. You don't have much time. Her throat tightened. Who is this? She whispered, though she already knew the answer. You know who I am, the voice rasped. You don't believe me now, but you will. Tomorrow evening, you'll hear a knock at your door. Don't answer it, no matter what. Emily's eyes darted to the door of her apartment as though something might already be waiting there. Why? She asked. The voice cracked with desperation. Because if you do, you'll never see daylight again. Click. The call ended. The next 24 hours stretched into eternity. Emily couldn't focus at work. She kept glancing at her phone, half expecting it to light up again. By evening, her nerves were raw. Every creak of the floorboards made her flinch. At 9 p.m., she locked her front door, double-checked the windows, and sat on the couch with the TV blaring to drown out her thoughts. Then came the sound. 3 knocks. Sharp. Hollow. Deliberate. Her blood froze. She didn't move, didn't breathe. The knocks came again, louder this time, echoing through her tiny apartment. Emily. Her name. A voice outside. Low. Insistent. She scrambled for her phone, heart hammering against her ribs. It was 11:46, 1 minute before the usual call. The knocks grew violent, rattling the door on its hinges. Then, her phone lit up. 11:47. Her name on the caller ID. Emily clutched it, trembling, and answered with a shaky breath. On the other end was her own voice, screaming, Don't open it! It's not human! The line went dead, and in the silence that followed, Emily heard the sound of her doorknob slowly turning. Emily bolted upright from the couch, her pulse hammering in her ears. The doorknob rattled again, scraping as though something, or someone, was testing the lock. "Who's there?" she whispered, her voice trembling. Silence. Then a low chuckle. Not her neighbor, not anyone she knew. A slow, guttural sound that didn't belong to a human throat. She staggered backward, phone clutched tightly in her hand. Her screen was dark again, no trace of the call. Her reflection in the black glass looked pale, terrified, almost unfamiliar. The knocking stopped. The silence that followed was worse. It pressed in around her, heavy and suffocating. She held her breath, waiting, straining her ears. Nothing. Finally, after what felt like hours but was only minutes, she crept to her bedroom, locked the door, and curled under the blankets like a child hiding from a nightmare. Sleep never came. Morning brought a deceptive sense of safety. Sunlight spilled across her apartment, softening the shadows. She almost convinced herself it had been a hallucination born of exhaustion, until she saw the door. 3 deep scratches carved into the wood. Parallel grooves, as though something had dragged claws across the surface. Her knees nearly buckled. The building superintendent, Mr. Alvarez, frowned when she showed him. "Looks like vandalism. Kids, maybe." "Kids don't have claws," Emily whispered. "What?" "Nothing." She forced a smile, but her hands shook. That night, she packed a small bag and drove to her sister Rachel's house across town. Rachel was the opposite of Emily. Practical, grounded, always quick to roll her eyes at anything weird. When Emily told her what had happened, Rachel smirked. "Em, come on. You've been working 60 hours a week, living off coffee and microwave noodles. No wonder you're hallucinating." "It wasn't a hallucination," Emily snapped. "I heard myself, my voice. I warned myself not to open the door." Rachel raised an eyebrow. "And did you?" "No." "Then nothing happened." Emily swallowed, staring at the floor. "Not yet." Rachel sighed and handed her a glass of wine. "You need sleep, not ghost stories." But sleep never came at Rachel's either. At 11:47 p.m., the phone buzzed on the nightstand beside Emily's borrowed bed. Her name lit up the screen again. Emily's stomach lurched. She grabbed the phone and stumbled out of the guest room into the hallway. Rachel's house was quiet, her sister asleep upstairs. She answered. The voice was broken, breathless, urgent. "Emily, it's worse than I thought. They know you left. You can't run from them." Her knees weakened. "Who? Who's after me?" A long silence. Then, 3 words that froze her blood. "They're already inside." The line went dead. Emily whipped around, heart slamming against her ribs. The hallway stretched dark and silent. The living room below sat in shadow, and then she heard it. Soft footsteps. Not Rachel's. Too slow, too deliberate. She rushed upstairs, shaking Rachel awake. Get up now! Someone's in the house!" Rachel blinked, groggy. "What? No!" The sound of creaking floorboards cut her off. Someone was on the stairs. Rachel jumped up, now pale, now fully awake. She grabbed her phone, dialed 911, but the line didn't connect. No ring, no signal. Just silence. The footsteps stopped at the top of the stairs. Emily clutched her phone like a lifeline, whispering, "What do we do?" Rachel grabbed a lamp from the nightstand, holding it like a weapon. "We see who the hell it is." "No!" Emily hissed. "We can't open the door. I was warned." But the decision wasn't theirs. The bedroom door creaked open, slowly, painfully, as if someone, or something, enjoyed dragging out the moment. Both sisters froze. A shadow fell across the carpet. Not a person's shadow. Too long, too thin, stretching across the floor like liquid darkness. Rachel gasped. Emily's phone buzzed violently in her hand, the screen flashing. 11:47 p.m. again. Her own name. Her own number. She answered with trembling fingers. On the other end was her own voice, shrieking, "It's behind you!" Emily spun around at the scream in her ear. The shadow in the doorway stretched impossibly tall, its head nearly scraping the ceiling. Its limbs were grotesquely long, folding in and out of themselves like broken branches. But its face was worse than anything Emily had imagined. It was hers. A pale, distorted reflection of Emily's face stared back at her from the darkness, grinning too wide, the eyes hollow and glistening with black. Rachel dropped the lamp with a crash, stumbling backward. "What the hell?" The thing stepped into the room, its long arms scraping the walls. The temperature plummeted, breath fogging in the air. Emily's phone buzzed again in her hand, though she hadn't ended the call. Her own voice whispered through the receiver. "Run!" Rachel grabbed Emily's arm, yanking her toward the window. Without thinking, they shoved it open and climbed onto the roof of the porch. Cold air slapped their faces as they scrambled down the trellis and dropped into the yard below. Emily glanced back once. The figure leaned out of the upstairs window, its grin wider now, teeth impossibly sharp. It raised one hand in a slow wave. Her phone clicked. The call ended. They didn't go back inside. Instead, they sat in Rachel's car, doors locked, trembling. Rachel gripped the steering wheel so tightly her knuckles turned white. "You want to tell me what the hell that thing was?" Emily shook her head. Her thoughts were a whirlwind. I don't know, but it's connected to the calls. It warned me not to open the door. It knew this was coming." Rachel barked out a nervous laugh. "You're saying you warned you? From the future?" Emily swallowed hard. "I don't know, but the voice, it's mine, older, broken, like it's been through hell." Rachel's gaze darted to the house. Every window was dark now, too dark. "We can't stay here." Emily nodded. "Then where do we go?" They checked into a roadside motel an hour away. The clerk gave them odd looks, two pale women trembling as though they'd seen a ghost. Rachel collapsed onto the bed, pulling the covers up to her chin. Emily sat on the other bed, staring at her phone like it was a ticking bomb. 11:30. She had 17 minutes. Her pulse quickened with every passing second. She tried to shut it off, to pull the battery, but the phone resisted. No matter how many times she pressed the power button, the screen glowed stubbornly back at her. 11:46. Her breath came in shallow gasps. 11:47. The screen lit up. Emily Ross. Mobile. She answered. "Emily!" The voice was strained, urgent. "You need to listen carefully. That thing, it wears your face because it knows you. It feeds on you. Every time you pick up the call, you let it closer." Emily's throat closed. "Then why keep calling me?" "Because I'm trying to save us. I'm you. I've seen what happens. I've lived it." Her stomach turned. "How do I know you're telling the truth?" The voice cracked with despair. "Because I know something only you would know. The night Mom died. You weren't asleep like you told Rachel. You were awake. You saw her take her last breath." Emily's chest constricted. No one else knew that. Not even Rachel. Her hand shook so violently she nearly dropped the phone. "What? What do I do?" The voice whispered. "Don't answer again. If you do, it wins. I'm only strong enough to call you 6 times. After that, I'm gone. And you'll be next." The line went dead. Emily sat frozen, staring at the screen. Rachel shifted under the covers. "What did it say?" Emily's lips trembled. "It said I have to stop answering. Or it'll take me." Rachel frowned. "Then throw the damn phone out the window." Emily almost did. She held it in her hand, ready to hurl it into the parking lot, but something inside her screamed, "Don't." If the voice was really her, if it really was trying to help, then destroying the phone might cut off her only lifeline. She set it down carefully on the nightstand instead. At 3:12 a.m., Emily woke to the sound of static. The phone was glowing faintly, even though no call was active. She leaned closer, heart racing. The glow pulsed like a heartbeat. Then the screen lit up without ringing. A video began to play, grainy, distorted, like a corrupted recording. Her stomach dropped. It was her. She was sitting on the very same motel bed she was on now. But her face was bruised, bloody, eyes swollen with terror. She leaned close to the camera and whispered, "It's already here." The video cut out, and from the corner of the motel room, in the shadows between the beds, came a low, rasping laugh. The laugh slithered through the motel room, low and guttural, vibrating in Emily's bones. She whipped her head toward the corner, but it was swallowed in darkness. Rachel sat bolt upright in bed, eyes wide. "Did you hear that?" Emily nodded, unable to speak. The phone on the nightstand buzzed violently, skittering across the surface like something alive. Rachel snatched the lamp from beside her bed and flipped it on. Light flooded the room. Empty. Nothing in the corner but peeling wallpaper and shadows. But Emily knew. It was still here. She picked up the phone with trembling fingers. The screen was black now, but warm, too warm, as if it had been running all night. "Emily," Rachel whispered, "we need to go. Now." They stumbled into the freezing night, breath puffing in the air as they hurried to Rachel's car. The motel parking lot was deserted, lit only by flickering yellow lamps. Rachel turned the key. Nothing. Dead engine. She tried again. The dashboard remained dark. "Damn it!" Rachel slammed the wheel. "Battery's gone!" Emily's phone lit up again. 11:47 p.m. Her blood ran cold. She hadn't even noticed the time ticking by. "No," Emily whispered. "Not now. Not here." The call came through. Emily Ross, mobile. Rachel grabbed her wrist before she could answer. "Don't pick it up. You said not to." The phone kept buzzing, the sound drilling into Emily's skull. She squeezed her eyes shut, fighting the urge. It was stronger than ever now, like the phone wasn't calling her. It was pulling her. The buzzing stopped. For a brief, glorious second, relief washed over her. Then the back seat creaked. Rachel turned slowly, her breath catching. A figure sat hunched in the shadows behind them. Long limbs folded unnaturally, head bent so low its chin touched its chest. As it lifted its face, Emily's stomach lurched. It was her face again. But this time, it was smiling. Rachel screamed, fumbling for the door handle. The figure moved impossibly fast, slamming its hand against the window. The glass cracked under its touch, splintering like ice. Emily's phone buzzed again. Against every ounce of reason, she answered. The voice on the other end was hers, but hysterical now, breaking into sobs. "You can't run, Emily. You let it in. Every time you answered, you opened the door wider. And now it's almost free." The figure in the back seat grinned wider, its teeth jagged and endless. Emily dropped the phone. Rachel yanked open the driver's door, dragging her sister out as they bolted across the lot. Behind them, the car windows exploded in a shower of glass. Something screamed inside the vehicle. A sound that wasn't human. They didn't stop running until they reached the dark woods behind the motel. Branches clawed at their clothes, thorns tearing at their skin. Rachel finally collapsed against a tree, gasping for breath. "What the hell is happening? What is that thing?" Emily shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "I don't know. But the voice, it's me. It says it's me from the future, that I'm trying to save myself." Rachel grabbed her shoulders, eyes wild. "Then ask it. Ask what it wants. Ask how to stop it." Emily hesitated, then lifted the phone again. To her horror, the call was still active. She hadn't hung up. "Hello?" she whispered. The voice came through instantly. "You can't stop it, Emily. Not yet. It's been following us for years. Every time we make a choice, every time we survive one night longer, it finds another way. The calls are the only way I can warn you." Emily's lips trembled. "Why me? Why us?" The voice broke, almost like it was crying. Because we answered the first time. We listened, and once you listen, you belong to it. Rachel leaned in, furious. Then how do we kill it? Silence. Then the voice whispered, "We don't. We become it." The line went dead. Emily staggered back, bile rising in her throat. Rachel shook her head violently. No, we are not accepting that. There has to be a way out. Emily tried to respond, but her phone buzzed again. She looked down. A new message appeared on the screen. Play me. Her thumb trembled over the notification. Against every instinct, she tapped it. The screen filled with another grainy video. It was Rachel this time. Her face bloodied, eyes hollow, whispering through cracked lips. Don't trust me. Emily dropped the phone like it burned her. Rachel froze, staring at her. What did it say? Emily's heart pounded. Nothing. Just nothing. Rachel narrowed her eyes. Emily, show me. But Emily couldn't. She couldn't tell her sister what she had just seen. Because if the message was true, then the thing wearing her face wasn't the only one she had to fear. And from the darkness of the woods around them, the laugh came again. Closer this time. The laugh echoed through the trees, weaving between the branches like smoke. Emily spun in circles, clutching her phone, her pulse a drumbeat of panic. Rachel grabbed her arm. Em, we have to move, now! But Emily froze, her mind replaying the video. The bloodied Rachel whispering, don't trust me. Her mouth went dry. Her own sister, the only person she trusted, might not be safe. Might not even be human. Emily! Rachel shook her. Stay with me! The shadows shifted around them. A branch snapped. Leaves rustled, though no wind blew. Something was circling them. Emily swallowed hard. Where are we going? Rachel pointed deeper into the woods. There's a ranger station about a mile from here. If we can get there, maybe call for help. Emily wanted to believe her. She wanted to believe Rachel was still her sister. But the warning looped in her mind. Don't trust me. They stumbled through the dark forest, twigs snapping underfoot. The trees seemed to close in tighter with each step, the woods unnaturally silent. No crickets, no owls, just the sound of their own ragged breathing. Every few minutes, Emily glanced at Rachel, searching her face for some sign. Was her smile too forced? Were her eyes too dark? Was she still Rachel at all? Almost there, Rachel whispered, though her voice trembled. Just a little further. Emily's phone buzzed again. She pulled it out, heart hammering, a text message this time. Stop. She isn't your sister anymore. Her stomach lurched. She looked at Rachel walking ahead, her silhouette framed by moonlight. The phone buzzed again. She's wearing her face, just like the others. Emily slowed, clutching the device as if it were the only truth she had left. Her throat burned with fear. Rachel turned, frowning. What is it? Why'd you stop? Emily shoved the phone behind her back. Nothing. Just catching my breath. Rachel studied her for a long moment, her eyes glinting strangely in the dark. Then she nodded. Okay, let's go. They finally broke through the tree line into a clearing. A small cabin stood at the far edge, a dim light glowing in the window. Relief surged through Emily until her phone buzzed again. It's a trap. Don't go inside. Her chest tightened. She stared at the cabin, then at Rachel, who was already running toward it. Come on! Rachel shouted. Emily hesitated, every muscle in her body screaming in confusion. Which warning was real? Which danger was worse? The thing outside or the thing walking beside her? Rachel reached the door of the cabin, yanking it open. Warm light spilled out, cutting through the dark. Emily, hurry! Emily's phone buzzed violently. She glanced down. Another video had appeared. Her own face this time. Pale, terrified, whispering into the camera. If you walk through that door, you'll never come back out. Her hand shook so badly she nearly dropped the phone. Emily! Rachel's voice snapped her head up. Now! She forced her legs forward, stumbling across the clearing. Her heart slammed in her chest with every step. The phone burned in her palm, its screen glowing brighter, pulsing like it was alive. Rachel held the door open, her face glowing in the warm yellow light. "We're safe now." Something in her voice made Emily's stomach twist, too calm, too certain. Emily stopped just short of the doorway. "You go first." Rachel's smile faltered. For a heartbeat, her expression cracked, her lips stretching too wide, her teeth too sharp in the glow. Then she recovered. "Emily, don't be ridiculous. Just come in." Emily's phone buzzed again. She glanced down. "This is call number 5. One more and it's over. Listen to me." Her hand trembled as she answered. The voice on the other end was frantic, almost incoherent. "Emily, please don't go inside. That's not Rachel. She didn't make it past the motel. You've been walking with it the whole time." Emily's legs buckled. No, that's not true." The voice cracked with desperation. "Why do you think I only have 6 calls? Because that's how many times it takes before we become it. If you walk through that door, the cycle completes. We're trapped forever." Emily raised her eyes. Rachel stood framed in the doorway, her smile too wide now, her eyes glinting with something inhuman. "Emily," she whispered, "come home." The call went dead, and from inside the cabin, a second voice echoed out, Rachel's voice, weak, faint, terrified. "Em, help me." Emily's world spun. 2 Rachels, one in the doorway, smiling, one crying for help inside. Her knees weakened, her phone buzzing one last time in her hand. "Next call is the last. Make your choice."